morning. It is the 4th of August, year 2019, and my laptop was actually returned to me after an entire year of it being lost. Any other questions? You can email me, willmick.william@gmail.com. That's willmick.william@gmail.com. And just Boston at some 10, Boston environment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some Boston today for lab every day. And that was a concept that I got by, what's this guy's name? I forget his name. He's another African American gentleman with a Cisco. Oh, Lightfoot, Dewan Lightfoot. He has came up with the concept of labbing every day. So I'm gonna lab every day to stay current. Because if you do not use it, you lose it. That's the concept. So let's go to scenario labs. Ospf routes. And the lab is loading into the simulation software, and this is it here. What does it say? Scenario lab Ospf routes. Objective: learn the commands needed to test an Ospf open shortest path first configuration. So Ospf was invented by the IETF, or Internet Engineering Task Force, and we're going to configure Ospf. Lab topology. The topology diagram below represents the net map in the simulator. So here we have router 1 to router 2 over serial interface. Here is 0/0, so here would be 0/1. So type member and then a number. And then it's using serial 00 is using 192.168.1.2, and serial 00 on this interface is using 192.168.1.1, so they're in the same subnet. But this is an inefficient use of address space, so /24. I just want to point /30 would be more accommodable, because on a point-to-point interface between routers, you can only have two interfaces. Alright, now we have fast Ethernet 0/0, and this particular PC, 192.168.100.1/24. That's the address of this fast Ethernet interface, and this fast Ethernet interface is 192.168.101.1/24, and kill that. We have host A and host B here. Command summary, we have the clock rate. Sets the clock rate for data communications equipment DCE interface. Alright. Configure terminal. That gets us to global configuration mode from privileged exec mode. Enable and enters privileged exec mode, and ends in exits configuration mode. Exits one level in the menu structure, sets the host name, sets the device name, and host name is beneficial. Why? Because if there are multiple routers, it's good if you can address the routers by the name that you designated. And we have interface type number, changes from the global configuration mode to interface configuration mode. We have IP address subnet mask, assigns an IP address to an interface. Network address, walkout mask, area ID. No shutdown. There was an interface ping, which is going pinging an IP address sends the Internet Global Message Protocol echo request to the specified address. Router Ospf enters router configuration mode for an Ospf process. Router Ospf and then the process ID, and I want to point out the process ID can be a number from 1 to 65,535. That's 1 to 65,535. Show IP route displays the IP routing table. Show running config displays the active configuration file. Other list of commands. So Boston. Now the IP address subnet mask using this slide are shown in the tables below. So these are the addresses that are to be put into the CLI. Router 1, okay. And this is default for subnet mask /24 and site notation. /24 and classes enter the main routing notation. Router variable and subnet masking. 000 as an address, 000 and router 2 has an address. 192.168.100-2. 192.168.100-2. Okay, and you see the default gateway. And keep the current customer, don't show this message again. Now, configure router 1 with the appropriate host name. Configure the appropriate IP address in the interface. First, the IP address table. A DCE cable is connected to router 1. The serial link shall have a speed of 64 kilobits per second. Enable interfaces. Alright, so router 1, configure router 1 with the appropriate host name. So we're on router 1, as indicated right here. Press enter to start. We're in enable mode. No, we're in user mode. We have to get to privilege exec mode. Alright, enable. Now we're in privilege exec mode. Now we have to go to the configuration mode. Alright, router config. Configure router 1 with the appropriate host name. So right now it's router, and now we're going to name it router host name router 1. Enter. Configure the appropriate IP addresses on interfaces. Refer to the IP address table. The IP address table. There's the IP address table. So we're going to come down here, type in interface, fast, Ethernet, 0/0, interface fast, Ethernet 0/0, and hit enter. And now we're in interface configuration mode, and we type in IP address, right? That's right. 192.168.1.1, and then set the mask at 255.255.255.0, and I think you just hit enter. Oh. No, something I did wrong. Oh, okay. So it's IP address, right? And it's 192.168.101.1, 255.255.255.0. That's for fast Ethernet 0/0. You hit enter, and it took it. It took it now. And then no shut now, because you gotta bring it. You have to physically. Well, it's down, so you have to explicitly bring it up by putting no shutdown. So now I type in interface 00/0. So interface 00/0. Interface 0/0. You have interface 00/0, and then so much 1.1. Interface 00/0. Interface 00/0. Okay. Now you know what? Okay, so now we say interface 00/0. Router 1. You enter. Now type in IP address. One 2.168.1.1. 255.255.255.0, which is going to be the subnet mask, and it's going to be 0/0/0, right? And you're going to hit enter. Then you're going to type in no shutdown, and you're going to enter. Okay. Now I'm going to go into, I'm going to type in copy running config, startup config, copy run start. So that it goes to the startup configuration file, non-volatile RAM. Alright, and I'm going to hit enter. And now it's going to go into the startup configuration file and non-volatile RAM, everything I configure. IP address in the mesh using the slide was shown in the tables below. ADC cables connected to router 1. Okay, so now configure the IP address on the interfaces. A DCE cable is connected to router 1. So if a DCE cable is connected to router 1, what are the commands I'm supposed to issue? The clock, off the top of my head, the clock rate has to go on the DCE side. And what would I use to do that? This is a bit cheating, but yes, clock rate and clock rate. Alright, so now I'm in privileged exec mode. I'm going to go to configure terminal mode by typing in configure terminal. Alright, now I'm in configure terminal mode, and if the clock rate is connected to the DCE side, I'm going to put an interface 0/0/0, enter. And that makes sense because let's see a net map in the router 1. Zero, 1. Alright. Interface 0/0/1. Interface 0/0/1. Okay, so interface 0/0/1, right? Because you have a serial interface on there. I think, okay, so you need to type in clock space rate, and it's 64,000. and you hit enter, and it took it, and type in no shutdown, and it took it like a champ, and live instructions. And that was 000. Configure router 1 with appropriate host name. I did that. Configure the IP address on the interfaces referred to the IP address table. I did that. The DCE is connected to router 1, meaning the clock rate should be on the DCE side. Set the clock rate. The serial link should have a speed of 64,000 kilobits per second. Enable the interfaces. I did that. Configure router 2 with appropriate host name. Configure that. Alright. Okay, so this is relatively long, but I just want to get back in the habit of labbing every day. And if you ever need to log, need access to this software to prepare for the exam, you and I meet and we discuss product, price, place, and promotion, or the 4 P's of marketing. This is William. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing. Love, peace, and a little bit of hair grease. Bye-bye.